Hello everybody, Mr. the Vestman here, bringing you level 2 of Dungeon Defenders, and we're continuing on our journey here on Medium. And first thing I'm going to point out is, we are playing this from the beginning. I'm going to have to defer you to our written section. I do not remember the specific reason why the game does not start on Wave 1, but there is a reason for that, so hopefully we will have that posted for you as an answer. First thing though, on this map, the video, actually, first thing, the video is going to be very similar to the Orcs Must Die. I'm not going to show the entire level, as the levels get very long. I'm just going to show you bits and pieces of the mostly build phases and new important enemies. But on this map, there's three very obvious choke points. One pretty well on each side of the crystal, south, west, and east. And secondly, sorry, I apologize, my voice, I'm recovering from the flu. Get that out of the way in case you're wondering why I don't sound like $1,000,000. But there's my stats if you're interested. We're sharing man, so what you see here, we're playing with two people. And I've got an apprentice as myself and a squire. And the squire is putting up bouncer blockades because bouncer blockades are wonderful. Now, if you're playing with just an apprentice, you could put up magic blockades. They will do you fine. But on this level, you're gonna want to try to have the best blockades up that you can. If you're playing solo, this level is going to punish you very hard. You're going to fail this the first time. I mean, almost without fail, because it's going to be very hard. There's going to be an enemy later. It's just the difficulty curve from the first level to the second level is very high. So don't be surprised if you fail by yourself. If you're playing with a group, you'll stand a little better of a chance. But what you want to do is set up as many blockades as you can in these three choke points. I've seen strategies where they've put them further out. That works. However, what you end up having then is to spend more mana to cover the same kind of enemies. This choke point, although it's a little closer to the crystal, it will run you slightly higher risks. It is much cheaper to build and more efficient when you're with only one person or two people. So you can see the first wave, which is actually wave 2. I apologize, that's kind of confusing. Was very simple. There's no real strategy to that, just mop up the enemies. Even if you're by yourself, even if you're like a level 3, you should have no problem on that wave. What you're going to want to do now on your second wave here is finish your barricades if you have not done so, and then you're going to want to put a attacking tower of some sort at each barricade. If you're playing as the apprentice, you can use a fireball if you have it available, or you can use a magic missile. If you're using magic missiles, I suggest you stack them 2 to 3 at a time. If you've got the fireball, you only probably need 1. The fireball is an amazing tower, does AoE, high damage, very, very, very useful. One of the most useful towers in the game, very, very useful. The other classes, it's very situational. If you're the huntress, you're going to want to use proximity mines or gas traps, depending. If you're the monk, you know, whatever really tickles your fancy, depending on who you're playing with. And if you're the squire, of course, you just put up bouncer blockades and do your best with those. At that point, you're not really going to want to have upgraded too much yet or at all, because you're really going to want to focus on starting to get your damage dealing towers out. Here you can see I skipped ahead a little bit because not too much has happened, but if you take a look, I've now secured each location. So each location now has one fireball turret and one lightning turret. And the reason for this is because the enemies, new information here, the enemies will start spawning with resistances. There's 3 resistances: poison, lightning, and fire. So if you are playing as the mage or the huntress, that's kind of important because enemies will be resistant sometimes to your damage. And the reason we stack towers with different attack types is so that they cover different damages. For the mage and the huntress, that's very important, and the monk even. For the squire, not so much, because all of his stuff, to the best of my knowledge, is non-elemental. So all of his stuff will work all the time. The mage's stuff, for instance, the fire tower, amazing. New enemy right there, Kobold. Kobold is a suicide bomber, does heavy damage, just don't let him hit you. But anyways, the elemental resistances, you just got to keep an eye on that. You don't, if you're using fire against a fire resistance, you're not going to do damage. It's simple as that. So that's why you want to mix and match. Now, on the final wave here, wave 6, is very crucial that the southernmost barricade, you have east, west, south. South is very, very crucial that you have that heavily defended, upgraded most. That junction, that barricade gets priority over the other two. You want to have the maximum amount of stuff there, and you'll see why right there in the corner. This big guy. So this is where you fight your first ogre. They're typically very tough. If you're playing by yourself, I guarantee you he's going to wreck your stuff the first time around. It's going to take a little, you got to get to know the level and your character. But normally what you want to do is lure him into your barricades. And the interesting thing about him, as you can see right here, is he will attack the character first if you keep him occupied. So what you want to do is keep him occupied right in front of your barricades, and that's the best means of attack. Otherwise, you're going to have a really hard time. And I can't stress that enough. Keep him occupied. If you've played an MMO, kite him. You'll know exactly what I mean. So as long as you take care of that ogre, the rest of the level should be fairly fine. The main thing that you're going to learn in this level is how to deal with resistances and how to deal with ogres. Here's the level up screen. We'll talk about more of that later. But if you're looking for specific information, if you're looking for character videos, character guides, an FAQ asking questions and answers, please check out the website, XBLAfans.com. We're going to have an extremely comprehensive guide there with all kinds of stuff. But for now, that's it. So we will see everyone next time on Dungeon Defenders.